So, what happens to your debt after your death? That is an excellent question. Some people might think, well, if I'm dead, my debt will just go away. And then other people are concerned, if my parent passes away and they've got some debt, am I going to have to pay that? So these are excellent questions. In the state of Utah, uh, your debt is still existing when you pass away, and most of that debt will likely need to be paid, if possible, out of your assets that are left after your death. So during the process of probate or estate administration or trust administration, your personal representative or your trustee will notify people who have um, people who are holding debts, and they can make a claim that can be paid out of the estate. Now, there are certain exemptions for paying for family expenses. So if you've got minors, so if I were to pass away, my wife would be entitled to get certain exempt money first to help pay for raising our kids before money could be paid to pay off creditors. And so there are some exemptions there for a surviving spouse and kids. But generally speaking, those debts would still need to be paid. So the personal representative would send notice to the people with the debts, and they would file claims, and the personal representative or trustee could pay those claims to pay them off so that they're taken care of. Now, there are some debts that may go away with death. Federal student loans, for example, those can simply be forgiven upon death of the former student. That's not always the case, in particular with private student loans. That's still going to need to be paid out of the estate if possible. And then, generally speaking, children are not liable for the expense of a parent. So if the parent has an existing debt, that doesn't immediately fall to the child, but there are some variations. So if the child is getting the car from the parent and there's still debt on the car, well, the kid either needs to continue paying on that debt, or the car will need to be sold to satisfy that debt. So those are just some basic examples of what happens to your debt after you pass away.